Cardinals. Tufts here by way of a 33-10 victory yesterday against the Norwich Cadets, breaking the all-time program record and giving Bates a brief respite for that honor until next season. Meanwhile, St. John Fisher took down Catholic yesterday 18-11, and we are underway here. Mason Kohn winning the initial face-off for the Jumbos, and that is the matchup to watch here. How does Tufts deal with Joe Post, 24 in gold, first-team All-American, the all-time record holder for both ground balls and face-off wins in Division III. It is a massive need for St. John Fisher to control face-off today, control possession. Here's Mac Breda, leading scorer. Going to find his name on one of the USILA teams when they are released. And here is another face-off, well, a clamp at least won by Kohn. And now a ground ball should be won by Tufts. Rattling around, no one has it. And that could be a push, it will be a push. So now Tufts, and this is something to keep an eye on here. Tufts is 2 for 2 on face-offs against Joe Post, and I have a whole bunch of shot. Shot comes high over the top. Max Wallbaum was great at it. And Jack Boyden continuing the tradition of making goalies look very, very silly here. Another face-off clamp one. Kohn couldn't handle it. Stick out. And now Post gets in there. No call. Try to go to ground. And I'm not really sure where on the stick that was, but it's got to be no call. So another clamp one. That's 3 in a row. Mason Kohn, 3 clamps on the line. The fake line here earlier at 36.5 over-under, and I think that's probably going to be low. These teams like to score in bunches. There's a ton of firepower on both sides of the ball. 4 in a row. Mason Kohn clamps against Joe Post. You have 20 seconds to get it over. It was about 65 when Garzone threw that pass, and it was about to start getting late out there on the clear. But the long bomb, Tufts is 5 for 5 on clamps. Incredible little mini story here. Taggart-Eimer is in trouble, though. I might need to get a timeout unless Taggart-Eimer wants to go. Yeah, that's a great, I love the coaching. That actually, it's a good timeout. I know that the prayer. And we'll see. This is a good battle here for the first time, really. It's been Mason Kohn kind of owning the clamps. He won another one out. Look at the battle from Joe Post, though. It's a good fight from a good face-off man. And look at the effort. What a play. And Tufts is going to benefit from the – it can be very complicated. It can be very simple. Tufts up 4-2 here. 6:31 to go in the first. Kohn and Post again. And finally, Joe Post is on the board. It took more than half the quarter and 7 face-offs for Joe Post to win one clean, but he finally has. And that was on Parker Merrill first. 65, excuse me. Kohn, another face-off win. And this is, we'll talk about this during the next break, but Mason Kohn, I think the second opportunity, it's the only face-off Post has won today, is the one he faced or had against Merrill. And there it is, a violation on Parker Merrill. So 2 for 2 against Parker Merrill on offense. There's no hope of, keeping this Tufts offense to single digits or shutting them down. But the hope was this, that the face-off dominance of Joe Post would allow you to basically keep the Tufts offense on ice, and that's not been the case so far. Here's Post. He's got 5 goals on the season. He's not afraid to go to cage, but 16 in that one, and then didn't play. He got 2 of 7 against Wesleyan a couple weeks later, but other than that, he has not played. Did come back against Norwich yesterday, was 18-23, but it's been Mason Kohn since that point, and here is Mason Kohn again, just roasting Joe Post. And this is, I'm struggling here because I think that I expected the Tufts face-off unit to do better this year than last year. It's almost 8. 8-2 Jumbos lead here, 14-19 to go. And there's some shock right now on the St. John Fisher sideline. There's a lot of energy pregame. I've been here since 12:30 for the women's game. Parker Merrill wins the face-off, and that's not Post. That was the backup face-off man. Steps down. There's a good low save from Hammond. That was Swank out wide. And that's low to low, and I don't mind the shot, but the low to low, you'd love to see change. More of a facilitator, a creator as a midfielder than sort of a backdoor cutter and a finisher on the crease. But never say no to a goal. It's 8-3 Jumbos lead here, 13:07 to go in the second quarter. And Post wins that one cleanly. Here he is, the All-American, striding down the middle, goes to Evans, and great recovery. And this is the response if you're St. John Fisher that you need. Get down 6 goals early, and a really important inflection point. Cannot afford to let Tufts get out too far in this game. Obviously, you'd like to have no deficits to work with, but I would also like to be a billionaire. Unfortunately, things don't. And another face-off by Mason Kohn. This is, we're going to beat this story to death today, but Mason Kohn looking like a first-team All-American and making Joe Post look pedestrian. And it's just a lesson that I have yet to learn over the years is every time I want to sit here and say, well, Tufts is going to settle down and get the offense on and really get things organized, they go to cage. Here's Parker Merrill, clean to himself. Now it's a 5 or 4 on 3, and Merrill low to high. Parker Merrill saw Mason Kohn dominating, said, I want some of that. Just couldn't put the top, and St. John Fisher, under 10 seconds there on the other end, putting it in the back of your net. Here's Post back out there, and now Post is going to win another one as he beats Kohn. And now Joe Post is going to threaten for just a cradle. Then suddenly Cam Kelleher cuts, and there's Tommy Swank cutting, and there's Duke Alphen on the crease. And suddenly a guy with 74 goals is uncovered. And it's just, it's hard to sit here and be too critical because there's just a lot to think about on the defensive end for St. John Fisher and for anybody who faces this tough team. For the Jumbos. And the major story early on and throughout a lot of the first half, as what we'll see here, is Mason Kohn looking like the better face-off man against Joe Post, the most prolific Fogo in the history of Division III. And it's going to be another tough face-off win. I'm surprised there wasn't a hold there, but Garzone starts hot again. Made that save with his face mask. Connor Garzone was great in the first. And starting again here in the second with a critical one-on-one save, and the Tufts sideline is fired up. They're moving in transition. Swank, thought about a step down. Trying to say is that we've seen so many great, and I'm only talking about NESCAC because it's what I've watched for the most part, but so many great NESCAC attackmen who low to high. Bradle is the most recent one, but I can go all the way back, and there's some personal bias here. But Jack Allard from Bates, the 45 for the Bobcats, the sort of the quintessential low to high. You always know it's going low to high, and outnumbered. They'll slow it down, and obviously that's just a bad take. And Cam Kelleher, of course, steps in, scores. Another face-off won by Tufts. This time it's Lane McCarty, although the ground ball causing problems, and now Garzone is on the ground. That's Connor Garzone's been great today, but he is not Brett Queener and Mitty. I need to double check this before I make a claim here, but I'm not sure he had. Let's see. He had 4 shots entering today. He was 0 for 4. Another face-off for Mason Kohn, and I don't know what's Casey Denal. Goal number 5. And a good battle here, won by Murtha. Another face-off for Tufts. And Murtha will go to work on Matrano, the offensive weapon. There's been a constant, we'll call it a dialogue, between the Tufts sideline and another face-off for Mason Kohn. And this one on Connor Mesh, the freshman. And I think you're seeing, I don't know what the deal is here with Joe Post or whatever the problem is, but St. John Fisher has now rotated through, I think, 3 face-off men to try to figure out Mason Kohn, and that's just about the exact opposite. You can play good team defense, and you can do do everything right, and then Tufts has 4 guys probably, and I think we're probably being conservative here, that they can just kind of throw it to and say, hey, go get a goal. And that's one of them, and that's probably arguably the best one is Mac Bradle. And it's just, you got to have your team, your 6-on-6 concept sound at all times against Tufts, and then you also need to have your individual one-on-one matchups remain airtight, or at least is subdued right now. And I think it's not hard to figure out why. I think the neutral observers are surprised by the way this game has gone. Post is downhill, and I think, and another, just a careless mistake, absolutely inexcusable there. And then a slash. Nicholas Miller is going to get a penalty at some point. That's twice in about a minute that he's done something, and I'm just going to say it dirty off. Is just all working for Tufts, and I think the interesting thing is that Tufts isn't really forcing the issue. They're just taking what St. John Fisher is giving them. There's a face-off win for Parker Merrill, who's not had a ton of looks today, but has done well when he's out there. That's a low ball handled by Bradel. 50 seconds, the shot clock is off. Tufts can hold for last shot, but why would they? Here they go, middle. And it'll be another murderer's row of high-quality lacrosse games next weekend. And this is the last puzzle piece to fit in before we have the full picture for next week. There's still 15 minutes left. Anything can happen. St. John Fisher is not going to go away lightly, but it's going to be an uphill battle, and it's going to be a battle for the ground ball right now. But underway in the fourth, and it's a steep climb for Fisher. It's a 10-goal deficit, and they really haven't shown any ability to string together goals for Tufts. And we're going to check the all-time leaderboard here. Yep. So I don't know if you can hear that, but so Bradel is now with toughness and playing out a 60-minute game. The goals record is close. Jack Boyden entered today 7 behind Chris Schoenhut from the 2014 team. Post, lost it. Look at the back check. I mean, that has been a slog for St. John Fisher, but Nicholas Miller has been able to a couple times get free and make Tufts pay. Face-off won cleanly by Joe Post, and he'll pull it out. And it's Matt Jeffries. Staying low, staying on Kevin Christmas's hip, and just pushing him out using his body. And then he went for the stick. And that's the moment where Kevin Christmas got a step, and the whole defense is thrown into disarray and has to rotate, and then suddenly you have Cole Salton stepping down uncovered, and Ben Hammond hung out to dry yet again. So it's just, you can play good defense for a full possession, and it's all ruined when you lose fundamentals, you lose discipline, and you give guys avenues to the middle for an open shot. Jumbos by 2 touchdowns, 22-8. And we are at the 3-minute mark in this third round matchup. Pass out wide to Petrus. Middle, ball's out again, and that one